You know, we're all talking to AIs more and more these days. But are we really saying the right things to get the most out of them? The real secret to unlocking their power? Well, it's not just in the AI, it's in the ask. Today, we're going to go from asking simple questions to actually building intelligent agents, all by mastering the art of the prompt.
Come on, you've been there, right? You ask this super smart AI a question, you're expecting something brilliant, and what you get back is, well, it's just garbage. It's so frustrating, and it definitely makes you wonder if this whole AI thing is just a little bit overhyped.
But here's the thing, the secret sauce, if you will. The problem isn't always the AI's intelligence, it's our instructions, because the quality of the answer you get is directly tied to the quality of the question you ask. Mastering the prompt is how you go from getting simple, kind of boring answers to unlocking its full creative problem-solving potential.
So, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with why this is such a critical skill to have right now. Then, I'll give you a starter pack of essential techniques you can use immediately. From there, we'll level up to building advanced AI agents, learn how to pick the right tool for the job, and finally, we'll look at what all this means for the future of how we work and interact with technology.
All right, so first things first, why does any of this actually matter? This isn't just about getting slightly better answers from a chatbot. No, we are talking about a huge, measurable leap in performance that can literally make or break an entire AI system.
So get this. The developers in our source material, just by systematically applying these techniques, they slash those weird AI hallucinations, when it just makes stuff up, by a whopping 70%. And at the same time, they boosted the AI's logical reasoning by 45%. I mean, these aren't just little tweaks, these are absolute game changers.
So, how do we get those kinds of results? Well, it all starts with the fundamentals. Let's dive into what I'm calling the prompting starter pack. Think of these as the core techniques that will immediately level up your conversations with any AI you talk to.
Okay, so we all start here. It's called zero-shot prompting. And it's exactly as simple as it sounds. You just ask a direct question with no extra context. What causes packet loss? Simple. Direct. This is our performance baseline.
Ready for the first upgrade? It's called few-shot prompting. Instead of asking the question cold, you first give the AI a few examples, maybe 3 to 5, of similar questions and the kind of answers you're looking for. It's kind of like giving it a quick study guide right before the big exam.
And you can really see the difference here. A basic zero-shot question gets you a generic basic answer. But with the few-shot method, we first show it the pattern we want it to follow. By giving it that context, we're basically steering it toward a much more precise and useful solution.
And the payoff for this simple change? A 28% jump in accuracy for the telecom troubleshooting agent we're looking at. That is a massive return for just a few seconds of extra effort.
All right, next up is a really powerful one. It's called Chain of Thought, or COT for short. This one is incredible. All you do is explicitly tell the AI to think step by step. You're not just asking for the final answer, you're asking it to show its work, just like your high school math teacher probably told you to.
So for a complex problem like intermittent packet loss, we don't just ask, hey, what's wrong? We guide it through a logical sequence. Okay, step 1, check the counters. Step 2, verify the cues. Step 3, analyze the patterns. You're forcing it to be logical and methodical instead of just taking a wild guess.
And the result of this one, it's huge. Research shows that train of thought prompting improves reasoning accuracy by a staggering 45%. Seriously. For any complex task, from debugging code to medical diagnosis, this is an absolutely essential technique. Okay, so we've built a solid foundation for getting better answers. Now, let's really level up. We're moving into the realm of building AI agents, systems that can actually do things. This is where the AI transforms from being a simple calculator into an active lab partner.
A key framework here is called REACT, which stands for Reason and Act. It's basically a continuous loop. The AI thinks about what to do next, it takes an action, like using a tool to check a network. It observes the result, and then uses that observation to form its next thought. And it just keeps going. Thought, action, observation, over and over until it cracks the case.
Then we have something called reflection, which is all about catching mistakes. It can actually catch and fix up to 80% of an AI's wrong answers. It works by making the AI critique itself. First, it generates an answer. Then, it critically evaluates its own work. Is this logical? Is this actionable? Based on that critique, it refines its answer, and it keeps doing this until it gets it right.
So you can start to see how this all builds, right? We're taking our foundational techniques, like few shot and chain of thought, and using them to create these advanced agent-like workflows. We're building systems that don't just answer questions, but can reason, act, and even correct themselves.
Okay, so now we have this awesome toolkit with all these different techniques. But that brings up a really important question. Which one do you use, and when? Because, let's be real, it's always a game of trade-offs.
And this is where you have to be smart about it. Chain of thought is your fast and cheap option, but you lose a little bit of accuracy. React and reflection get you top-tier accuracy, but they're slower and cost more tokens. And then you have specialized methods like GraphRag that are just unbeatable for certain problems. So the trick is always balancing your need for the best possible answer with how fast you need it and how much you're willing to spend.
But here's the really clever part. You don't have to pick one every single time. In a real system, you build a prompt router. It's like another layer of AI that analyzes the user's question and automatically sends it to the best tool for that specific job. Simple question, route it to a fast, cheap method. A complex analysis, send it to a powerhouse like React. It's how you get the best of all worlds, optimizing for performance and cost automatically.
So let's zoom out. Where has this whole journey taken us? We've gone from just asking simple questions to architecting automated reasoning agents. The single biggest thing to take away is that working with AI is becoming less about coding and more about having a really good conversation.
Just think about the progress we've seen in hard numbers. We started with basic questions that were right about 65% of the time. Just by asking the AI to show its work with chain of thought, we jumped to nearly 90% accuracy. And by using these advanced agent frameworks, we can push that all the way to 97% on incredibly complex tasks. That is a jaw-dropping leap in performance.
Ultimately, this is what prompt engineering is really all about. It's not about writing complicated code. It's about learning the language of these new, powerful models. It's about learning how to frame our questions and our instructions in a way that leads them to the best possible outcome. We are learning how to have smarter, more productive conversations with our new digital partners.
And that brings us to the final, and I think the most important question. These aren't just theories on a slide. They are practical tools you can use right now to get profoundly better results from any AI. So, now that you have the keys to unlock its real potential, what complex problem are you going to solve first?